Welcome to Sideline the Baseline with your host MB and K Lou. We in the building.
Yeah, baby.
What's up, K. Luke? Mike,
What's up, Jake?
how you guys doing?
Good, man.
We got Coach Jake Morton in the building as usual to come in here and straighten us out about basketball. He came on here getting on me already. Said I had a bad week, and he was right. We'll replay it. I lost the late show. Coach K gone. They
And the
gave
Clippers
it.
winning.
And there you go again.
The Clippers and
Listen,
the Nets are winning.
I'm not upset with the Nets.
Oh, no. And then
I'm not upset with the
Harden-
Clippers.
Hold on. And then Harden is hurt. That's your number 2 guy. He hurt.
Yeah, James Harden down.
Yeah, he hurt. That's your number 2
right.
guy.
It looked better without him.
Week.
What?
Tough week. I
You
said,
hear? He said they look better without him.
oh, Jesus. Good Lord.
It looked pretty good.
Now that's what you call hate.
I'm not hating on
Jake,
it.
they look better without him, Jake.
Hey, they look pretty efficient out there without him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, wow. Good Lord. Jake from Allstate. Oh, man. Say they got better coverage, huh?
Much better coverage. They're going
Wow. That was great. Oh, man.
Hey,
man.
Lou, you pull your boys down for the count right now.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Jake?
I said Harden looks like he's down for the count. That hamstring nothing to play with.
Yeah.
That
He
takes some
missed,
time.
like 21 games this season with the hamstring?
Yeah, I mean,
Man.
can't loosen about the hamstring. Send a late show home. The hamstring took y'all out, K. Lou.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
still about that hamstring.
And MB and I both know we've been victims of it, had teammates that have had hamstring issues during the season, and it really never heals till you shut it down.
Yeah, you got
It's one of those things that you actually honestly pick your spots to go hard. Like
it looked like that boy from the late show went hard about 5 minutes. He had to shut it down.
right.
Yeah, he couldn't go more than 5 minutes.
I think it said he played 43 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all it was? I thought it
43
It was
seconds.
less than a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, he was walking out. He was, man.
He looked. I'll tell you this. He looked good in warm-ups, though. He looked good in warm-ups.
But
he scared him enough, huh?
And coach, that's how it happens. You warm it up really good. It feels great. You make one little burst of a movement, and you back to square one.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He warmed it up. He looked fine. He got out there. The problem is warm-up is not live, though. That's the issue.
Right.
You just getting loose.
Right.
He was fine with getting loose, but when that thing went live, it just was a whole nother animal.
And the deal is you can never control yourself when they throw the ball up, when they blow the whistle, because it's one of those things that your instincts take over versus your mind, And then the ball right there, and you go to try to go get it or make a move or something, and it's done.
Yeah.
How many championships LeBron have? 4? Yeah, 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4, yeah.
Yep.
KD's on his back. That's all I can say. That's all I'm saying. KD's on his back.
Yeah, he went 3? No, he only
2.
He got 2.
But look like it's gonna be 3 this year. Looking at it. Right?
He's coming, huh?
It's looking at
right.
right.
Go title.
Yeah. Look like it's gonna be 3. And he's on his back.
What?
Okay. Well, Jake,
it looks like it's gonna be 3.
Jake, so you out there? If Harden is out, you already said they're a little better. So you think they can do without him?
Well, they got regardless. I mean, listen. Obviously, I think Harden will be back at some point, but they have to. We talked about this the last couple of weeks. They got the personnel. They got the roster to win it. I mean,
so can they get back? We jumping in already. We skipping. So they can beat Milwaukee without Harden.
I think they can. Yes, they have home court advantage. Yes.
Well, Double A say he don't believe not only Harden, but KD can't stay healthy throughout the playoffs. The interesting thing is, out of those 3 guys, Harden is the guy that can last all year. The other 2 guys have had significant injuries and have never played full seasons.
Yeah. Yeah,
and Kyrie and KD. So it's interesting that Harden is struggling right now. You know, hey, you never know. One of them may fall off, and then they in trouble too.
The unfortunate part is they all haven't been together for a long period of time this year. Like you said, they've had injuries throughout the whole year. Somebody was hurt. So, I mean, I still think they got the roster to win it, but they're gonna have some ups and downs through these playoffs because they haven't played a lot together.
They only played 8 games together.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
8 games. Those 3 played 8 games together.
That's
yeah.
Not counting the playoffs, obviously.
Right.
Not counting the Boston's. They played 8 regular season together.
Wow.
Right, and then besides the Boston series, you know, the Celtics series.
Wow.
NBA and they finished second in the conference, which speaks very highly of the other guys.
Oh yeah,
Coach, and I think you would respect that, the fact that you haven't had your 3 horses but 8 games all year, and you came in as a number 2 seed and still looking good right now. I mean, you can't ask for more from the other guys.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing right now. He's the problem. And hey, that first game was against Milwaukee. That's the thing, man. I put their supporting cast as a problem, right? Just think about this, man. You know, Durant, he's gonna get his. You know, I think you're gonna talk about him. He had 29 points. Kyrie had 25. But when you look at the Nets, the supporting cast, Joe Harris had 18 points. 19 points. And my man Blake Griffin showing you that he still got something in the tank. Man, he had 18 points and 14 boards.
Wow.
And it done. And then Mike James, who only played 10 minutes total in the first round against the Boston series, right? He came off the bench and had 12 points, you know? So when you get that type of support with Kyrie and Durant doing everything and Harden out, man, he's the problem. The thing is, can they do it again? But that supporting cast was a problem for Milwaukee, and they really stepped up, especially in that second half, you know?
Well, hey, I'm going to piggyback right on that after I take all the AA credibility, because now he just done went crazy. Everybody from the U, Blake Griffin included.
Oh, Blake from Ohio.
No, we
Oklahoma.
We claim Bruce Brown, but
what'd you say, Jay?
I said we claim Bruce Brown, but we gonna Blake's from Ohio. He's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Everybody from the U, man.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Just the best ones from the U. That's all. Just the best ones.
Yeah.
Hey, you in the wrong sport to be talking like that. Let's switch it over, and then I'll ride with you.
Hey, we try to get our feet wet in that basketball game.
That's all that happened. You only get your feet wet. That's it.
We try to get our feet wet.
and I wouldn't categorize it as feet. You get a foot wet.
We get our toes wet.
But Jay, at least once a year we beat either North Carolina or Duke in basketball.
That's true.
We beat them somehow. We get them somehow.
That's true.
There's no doubt.
That's true.
There's no doubt.
Yeah,
now,
I will give you that. The ones that don't count.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who else.
All of them count.
Hey, let me tell you else who's the problem. Simone Biles, baby. 7. Yes, I said it. 7 U.S. national gymnastic titles. And not just 7, y'all, but 7 in a row. Since 2013, she's been just showing up and showing out the all-around title. They just give it to her when she walk in the building, MB. They don't even play with it no more. They say she here, and they give her the Hardwell, and everybody just sit there and watch. Listen, I was watching it, y'all, not live, but I ended up catching it later on YouTube. And I promise I saw people crying in the stands while she was flipping. Hey, she flipping so much. They don't even call what they are no more. They just call it a Simone Biles. She just did herself. Because can't nobody else do it like that. So Simone Biles, she's a problem.
She's definitely a problem, man. And I'm gonna tell you who else a problem. And we're gonna that Nick Saban. He's the problem. Nick just got paid again. Paid him, man. Right? Just signed an extension. Right? 8 more years, man. That's bad for everybody, especially my Hurricanes. Got to face them this year, open the game. But man, Nick Saban getting it done, sign a deal, man. Already scheduled to make 8.4. The new deal can push him over $10 million a year for the life of the contract. This is 15th season at Alabama. Turn this thing around. Hey, he's won 3 of the past 6 national championships. Also won a championship at LSU. And then Nick Time tenure at Alabama, man. Hey, they produced a total of 44 first-round picks, right? Man, and just they had 6 this last draft. Man, Nick Saban signed an extension. Man, let you know he ain't going nowhere. He's a problem. Good Lord,
We gotta keep Nick Saban out of Florida, Mike. He's in Florida. You talk about those first round draft picks, they all coming from Florida. We gotta
a lot of them from Florida, man. He getting it done.
He's coming to Florida. He's got his way down to Florida.
Cooper from us, man.
Listen, he ran through us and Texas this past year. The guys there now. They just walked in there.
Yeah.
You know, the early enrollees.
Yeah.
He just ripped through Texas and Florida this past year, boy. And he got this one kid, Leonard somebody. His picture went viral on the internet, man. He looked like he 28, 30 years old, man.
Grown man, huh?
MB, I ain't kidding. I'm gonna look his picture up and pull it up in a second. Like, it's scary. I'm like, boy, who gonna run? Hey, they playing that outside line, but ain't no tall sweeps, ain't no off tackle, ain't no inside zones, nothing to that side.
Orlando?
No, he from Texas.
Oh, from Texas, got it.
Yeah, he went viral, man. The picture looks scary, MB.
Wow.
That ain't no real kid.
Yeah, he got a grown man, huh?
I'm finna pull it up. But this other guy, MB, gave it to the supporting cast, but we know how they bread is butter. KD, baby. 29, 10, and 2 blocks. The 2 blocks is what I'm focused on, y'all. The 2 blocks is what we already know 29 ain't really that big of a deal. The 10 rebounds and the 2 blocks, though, that shows that he's committed. He's committed to winning the championship. KD, with the defensive stats, he's a problem.
No doubt. I was watching that game. I just thought about you. I was like, KD, he must heard you talk about it because he was playing some D, man. He was playing some D. He was playing. I was like, okay, KD. I see it. And the announcer was giving him credit. I think Grant Hill was calling the game, but he was doing good. But I'm gonna tell you, man, another dude that's been doing good is that Kawhi Leonard, man. But he almost almost had a triple-double getting it done. But they were saying that he's the fourth person in NBA history, right, to average over 30 points and 60% field goal percentage. I think the last person to do it was Shaq. But it's just not him with the Clippers. It's the supporting cast that got them over top versus the Mavericks, right? Man, check this out. Playoff P, baby. Playoff P, yeah, playoff time, man. Paul George is playoff P, not pandemic P like what K. Lou called. Had 22 points, 10 dimes, and 6 boards. And then my man Morris, oh my God. Hey, he woke up, man, had 23 points. Hey, 7 from 9 from beyond the arc. Tied Steph Curry in Game 7 for the most 3-pointers. And then check this out, K. Lou. Tyrone Lue getting it done with the backups. Hey, the Clippers backups outscored Dallas Reserve 27-6, right? Led by Terrence Mann, and then Luke Kennard had 11 points. Hey, getting it done. And Luke Kennard, man, Tyrone he ain't afraid to change up the lineup. Before this game, man, he only played a total of 4 minutes in the series early in the series. Only played 4 minutes. They responded to the challenge, man. Hey, next man up had 11 points. But that's what got the Clippers, to sweep past the Mavericks, man. That support. Kawhi Leonard with his supporting cast, their problem. Clips problem, baby. And that's what it was. Whose supporting cast was the best? Either Mavericks or the Clips. And the Clips was a little bit better than the Mavs. Got them over the top.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well,
who's that next? The next series is Phoenix and Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it'll be interesting.
We had another problem out here.
No, it's Utah and the Clippers.
And this another guy, Trey Dreezy Young, baby. Listen, 35 and 10. He back in college again, Coach Morton.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing at Oklahoma. The second Oklahoma guy we mentioned tonight. But I'm sure Double A gonna say he went to Miami too. Trae Young, 35 and 10 in a win, baby. He's a problem.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's a major problem.
Yeah,
No, he went to Oklahoma. He was definitely Oklahoma. I wanted the Dallas Mavericks
you thought what?
They traded him and Luka. That was a trade, right? Him and Luka.
Right. Well, it was Atlanta that made the trade. Atlanta
made the trade. Atlanta made the trade. Yep, that's right.
Lord, is that him? Wow.
Oh wow.
MB,
wow.
that way they talk about he a freshman, man.
What?
You thought I was playing?
Oh my God.
Hey, Pac Jam sent me this text when they first got him last year, and he was like, "Man, they trying to decide where they gonna play him." He's like, and I'm just silent on the phone. He say, "You didn't see the text?" I say, "Yeah, but he gonna play whatever he want to play."
Wow.
Golly. Oh, I gotta see. What's his name?
Hey, LB, he gonna play whatever he want to play. He gonna eat your cornbread. He gonna drink your juicy juice.
Wow.
He gonna take your powder, donuts, and everything.
He take it all. Golly, what?
Kendrick Blackshear, man. Kendrick Blackshear, baby. Hey, MB, I don't even know if he can play yet, but he's a problem.
He looked like a problem. Golly.
Y'all thought I was clowning, man. Y'all, MB, you thought I was clowning.
Wow.
You could have put me on he clowning.
Yeah, exactly. That joke there.
That's a big boy there.
Hey, Coach Morton, I made a believer out you, didn't I?
That's a big boy there. You know, I'm down here in Alabama. I coach in Alabama, so I get to see these boys up close in person. But man, I ain't heard about him.
Yeah, that's a grown man right there.
That kid looked like he's about 30 years old.
I told y'all.
Yeah.
Like y'all heard me say it, man. I'm like, that ain't legal.
He look like a grown
the Buffalo
man.
Bills be calling him.
He look like a grown man.
The Buffalo Bills be calling my man. Not
exactly. Hey.
You big boy there.
Yeah, you know how you look too.
NFL, you know?
MB, exactly. We always talking about now, can't nobody make the jump. It can't that's Trey Jones, Double A, Trey Jones.
Wow.
We didn't have that Trey.
Yeah.
We the one again with that Trey.
That kid there. Ooh, he might be able to make it.
Hey, you know what, K-Lou? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say hold the lowdown for the end.
Okay.
Just go right to basketball.
All right. That'll work.
Yeah, hey, so which one to go to? Go ahead, K-Lou.
Yeah, go ahead. You had something on your mind.
Oh no, I was just thinking when you talk about the Hawks, man, I was gonna get Jake's opinion about what he talking about Trey. Like your boy Pac Jam, he call him what, Ice Trey? Is that what Pac Jam called?
I don't remember.
He's pretty much, you call him whatever you want to call him right now. He's running things right now.
Yeah.
He looks amazing. You can't stop him.
Right.
You just can't. He's unstoppable right now. I mean, he's at all three levels.
Coach, he's one of those guys that I like when they talk about him and they say, and I think this is one of the greatest compliments, especially at the point guard position, or really any player, but you hear it at the point guard position a lot. You can't speed him up. And I love that. That means he's gonna set the pace. Whether he wants to go fast or slow, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what he's showing right now is that you just can't stop him. I mean, you just can't stop. Speed him up, don't speed him up. I mean, he's finding a way to put the ball in the basket. I mean, he's one of the most prolific scorers. I mean, outside of maybe KD, he's like the second most prolific scorer in the playoffs right now. I mean, you just can't stop him. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Woo. I'm glad you put that playoff word at end.
Yeah, playoffs. Now he's not. I mean, we know we got your boy Harden sitting over there with his hurt groin.
No, I was thinking. You know what? Because you named the point guard position, I immediately said, there y'all go disrespecting my dog Dame Dollar again. That's
No,
what
Dame
that
Dollar,
what my
bad boy.
mind went straight
No,
to.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying in these playoffs, he's been. I mean,
Right,
Dame Dollar's a bad boy. In these playoffs, he's been prolific. Talking about Trey Young, that is. He's been
right.
unbelievable. I mean, just based on where he's coming from, how he's elevated his team. I mean, this is the first time they've been in the playoffs in a long time. I mean, he's doing a heck of a job. Heck of a job. And they won their first series. I mean, that's
Right.
unbelievable. Well, this is the second year, right? In the league. Yeah, second year.
Yeah.
He's pretty.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty doggone good.
Well, like
And
you said earlier, like you was asking about the trade because initially Atlanta drafted Luka, and then they ended up trading Luka to Dallas for Trey Young and a first round pick. You know, so
right.
I mean, and the way Luka play, you like golly, but Trey, he's stepping up too, man. He's special, like you mentioned, Jake. You know.
I tell you, one of my really good friends is he's assistant GM for the Hawks, and we talked about this. Why would y'all do that? Why would you make that move?
Right.
And his comment to me was, let this trade play out about 4 years, and we find out who got the better deal. Meaning that they knew Trey Young was that good, but they also, like you said, they got a first round draft pick with that. Now Luka's really good. Luka's really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, they figured Trey is really good. I mean, they think he's kind of on Luka's level. And they got first round draft picks. They feel good about what they did. So I thought they were crazy initially.
Right.
They look pretty smart right now though.
Yeah. I mean, Luka's a beast too, but Trey stepping up. But one thing about Trey, what I know, man, he can shoot. I mean, he stretched the floor and whatnot. But the thing I saw from the game, man, is the shooters, the quiet shooters they surround around him. You know, dudes was making some big time shots around him. You know, he got his. I think Trey had like 26 points in the first half alone. But some other guys in the second half, they didn't start stepping up. And those other guys, no-name guys, was making some shots in it and getting it done. You know, what's your thoughts on that? Because it was a blowout. I mean, Philly made it close at the end, but they was blowing them out, double-digit lead. You know, and a lot of those other guys were stepping up to the plate as well. You talk about supporting cast. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, obviously, they played a great game. I mean, I still think Philadelphia is one of the better teams in the East. I do think they're going to beat the Hawks, when it's all said and done over the course of 7 games. But in terms of that supporting cast, it just goes to show you, Trey Young's importance to that team. That team was dead in the water. That franchise was dead in the water 2 years ago. And now you got a guy like Trey Young who's elevated everybody around him. I mean, he's playing at a high level. We got a bunch of guys, like you said, guys that you don't really even know their names, playing at a high level. I mean, so that just goes to show you what a superstar really. He's a superstar in the making now. And we're looking at a superstar being formed here, Trey Young.
Right.
When you start doing the things he's done to this point, he basically taking a team that was in the shadows, kind of a no name franchise 2-3 years ago. They win in series. Now they're going against arguably. Obviously, the Sixers won the East. Could be one of the better teams, if not the best team in the East. Win the first game. I don't think they can beat them overall. I mean, in a 7-game series, but they're going to give them a run for their money. That's for sure. Because Trey Young is here to stay. He's no joke.
And Coach, I know you obviously in college basketball and a college basketball nut like myself. I'm impressed with John Collins this year. I've always known he was that guy. He had started getting poo-pooed on by the Atlanta folk and the NBA as you start hearing that B word, and I'm scared of I'm scared of Kwame Brown, so I ain't gonna use it. BUST. I ain't gonna even say that word to John Collins. But they had huh?
I was like, Kwame Brown was a high school kid. He need to go to college.
Hey, Kwame got me shook. That's all I'm gonna tell you. But John Collins has started hearing the whispers like he was a bust, and come up this year, like you saying, you got Trey got his feet wet last year, and this year they done turned the corner together, and now he's had a big year, averaging 17 and 7. And then the other last night had 21. And I mean, he can go, Coach. I loved him the 1 year he played at Wake, and I thought he was going to be a problem in the NBA. But it's funny how you just said this was a franchise that was dead in the water now becomes alive based on an insert of a young fantastic point guard in Trae Young.
Mm-hmm. If you really pay attention, I mean, you're talking about Collins. I mean, the Hawks have drafted well over the last couple of drafts. I mean, obviously, Trae being at the top of the list and making a really unconventional move because, I mean, people thought, I mean, and obviously he is. I mean, people thought that the next coming to Magic Johnson was the kid that went to the Mavericks. And to have him and trade him away for Trae Young, that tells you what the Hawks really feel and thought Trae Young could be going forward. That was a huge move to do that now. Because Luka was supposed to be the next coming to Magic Johnson, and the Hawks had him, and they traded him on draft day, which tells you that speaks volumes for who Trae Young is and what his value is to that franchise. And now, whoever made that move looks like a genius right now. Because at the time when they did it, people thought they were crazy because how much publicity that Luka was getting coming into that draft.
And let's go ahead and make that transition because we done talked about him twice already. And Luka, that Dallas team is a good team because of him, but they got to do a better job of putting the right pieces around him because he's another Kyrie, James Harden type of guy. And Dame Dollar type of guy. He's very ball dominant, very. And it's interesting to me how people get frowned upon for doing it, and other people, you know what I mean, get celebrated for doing it. But he needs the rock in his hands to be creative. They don't run an offense. It's Luka and everybody else. It might be pick and roll with Luka and the other three standing at the 3-point line, but that's about as much offense as you get. Yeah. And he creates everything, Coach. So you tell us what kind of guys they need around him to be successful in Dallas.
Shooters, because he creates he draws a lot of attention. Any type of ball screen action, anytime he's driving down the hill, I think he will become more of a willing passer as he trusts, his teammates going forward. They get the right guys around him. This is going to be his third year in the NBA next year. It's going to be a big year for them as a franchise with him, because like you said, they need to make some moves to put some pieces around him. Because right now that team is not built to go real deep into the playoffs. It really isn't. When you look at it, Luka's a really good player, but the team is not built to make a deep run into the NBA playoffs. So with that being said, get back to your point, they got to put some better pieces around them. But I think shooters got to be at the top of the list.
But Coach, go a little bit deeper. When you look at their team right now, obviously Marjanovic is a throwback at center. You got used to be the unicorn. I don't know what they call him now, but yeah, used to be the unicorn. And right now he's been down drastically, and he ended up not being a number 2. So that leaves them. I know you're saying they need shooters, but they actually need a real number 2. What kind of number 2 can come there and play with Luka like that?
Well,
that's what I'm interested in. What type of player? I ain't exclude the money, the fit, and all, as far as like financially, but tell me what kind of player you think could play alongside him and be that number 2 guy.
I think a lot of guys could play alongside him. They had the number 2 guy. He hasn't stepped up, which is the unicorn, Porzingis. I mean, he's a guy.
Well, that's out. He gone because he stated last night after the game he don't even understand his role. So I'm like, you done played the whole season and you still don't know your role. I can tell you your role. It's out the door. So let's.
I bet you they don't trade him. I bet you they won't trade him. I mean, if
they don't trade him, it's because they won't nobody take the bait.
I don't think. If I'm them, I'm not trading him. You got to figure out a way to make it work. I mean, seriously. I mean, he's one of the better big guys in the league. And
I agree.
The kid Hardaway had a really good year out of Miami. He went to Michigan. He's from Miami. He had a really good year. He's a really good shooter. I don't think he's a number 2. I mean, I think they have a number 2. You got to get him. You got to get it to fit. I mean, the unicorn was a number 1 in New York. So he got to be a number 2 in Dallas. So, but you raised a great point. You said Luka's ball dominant, and he never gets the ball. I mean, he never gets the ball. I mean, that's what the issue is. So
that's why I'm asking what kind of what kind of number 2 is gonna work. I don't think there's a number 2 that can work with Luka. That's my issue.
The number 2 is you got the number 2. You got the coach has to get Luka to play. He has to get Luka to throw the damn ball. That's the bottom line. Because if he's not going, if you got a guy as talented as Porzingis and you can't give him the ball, that comes with scheming and strategy. That comes from coach. That's coaching. I mean, he has to touch the ball. He has to touch the ball. I mean,
he ain't getting no touches, coach. They telling him to run the floor and rebound.
That's why
run the floor, get offensive rebounds, get defensive rebounds, and try to be a rim protector.
When they got him 2 years ago, when he was traded from the Knicks to Dallas Mavericks, he was the most sought after big in the NBA at that point.
Right.
Everybody in the NBA was able their left arm to get that kid.
Right.
And now he's there and they can't get anything out. And that tells me there's something wrong with their style, their scheme, what they're doing. He's too good a player. That's like saying James Harden going to Dallas and only averages 10 points a game.
Right.
That's what you're saying. James Harden goes to Dallas and he only averages 10 points a game because Luka won't pass the ball.
Yeah, I think he would because of Luka. Because Luka don't find you like that. He ain't dropping dimes like that.
Yeah.
Luka will have to play second fiddle to James, baby.
Yeah.
I'll find you. Don't worry about you finding me.
Maybe that's what Dallas should do. Maybe Dallas should rearrange their roster and make Luka the number 2 as opposed to be the number 1. Because him being number 1 is not working. It's not working.
Right.
Maybe what they should do is maybe
there you go.
The thing is to get number 1 and make him get number 2.
Right.
Maybe that's a maybe, right?
But hey, so y'all don't think Luka's a good passer?
I don't think Luka, the way that team is built right now, Mike, and what they got going on, they're not in position to make a move going forward in these playoffs. They're not good enough. And maybe
I'm not saying as far as Luka as a passer. Like you don't think
he doesn't.
No,
really
I don't.
He doesn't really
I don't.
He's not a Willie.
Because he does some triple-double stuff. That's what I'm saying. To me, his game more like LeBron in regards.
No.
You don't think?
No,
LeBron's a pass. LeBron is a Magic Johnson pass first kind of superstar.
Okay.
Luka is a pass off the double and triple superstar. You know what I mean? He ain't pass. LeBron will have a run to the rim, right? And see a guy with a better shot than him. And he's passing it.
Right.
Luka ain't doing that.
Right. I agree.
So okay. So let me throw this name out. You talking about what about Kawhi? You think how would Kawhi fit with that team?
You know what? That might work, coach.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Because
I just don't think. Yeah. Luka's not number 1. That's the bottom line. He's just not right now at this point in his career. He shouldn't be showcased the way he's being showcased.
You don't think? Shoot, I would showcase him like that. You don't think he's a number 1?
Not right now.
Not in winning is what coach talking about.
You want to win big, Mike, right now. I think he's about 2 or 3 years away from doing it.
But let me say this about Luka. This is what's throwing me off about Luka, right? I'm looking at his stats. He just finished his 3rd year in the league. So right now he's averaging assists-wise. His first year was 6. He averaged 8.8. And then this past year, 8.6.
Yeah,
he's still not.
So that's what I
you
always
watch
thought
him.
For me, I'm not expert like you. I always thought his game was more like that. Obviously, he's not a true pass first, like you saying LeBron, but he does a good job finding an open man. When I was reading the stuff about him versus the Clippers, they were saying, man, he's so good at understanding defensive scheme and getting the ball in the right hands. I was just always thought he just have he got a poor man supporting cast around him because the unicorns stay hurt, you know.
Yeah,
unicorns stay step up, but he got the players. Yeah. I'm sorry, say it again.
No, the unicorn stays hurt. You're right. He's injury prone. That's why the Knicks got rid of him. He's injury prone. The Dallas needs to reevaluate. Obviously, Luka's not on in those talks in terms of making trade, but they need to reevaluate some of their second and third options and maybe look to get, like you said, put a second and third for maybe a number 1 and make Luka a number 2, and that might work a little better.
Wow,
potentially. Going forward, I just think if Luke, like you said, if you put a guy like Kawhi next to him, I think things change. Because Luka is a good player. I mean, he's a damn good player. Don't get me wrong; he's a really good player. But
man, y'all throwing me off when y'all say he's not a number 1 though. Golly,
But
Well,
like that right now, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's good enough to move a team deep into the playoffs. I just don't. I mean, maybe if he has more around, I don't know. He doesn't strike me as a guy like, hey, this guy is going to carry you going forward through the playoffs. And what I mean by that is getting other guys better. Like we talked about just earlier with Trey with Young, how well he's gotten his other guys involved, how guys are playing well around him, how guys have been elevated, how he's elevated other people's play. Luka's doing none of that. I mean, if you really look at rosters, the Dallas Mavericks roster is way better than the Atlanta Hawks roster, way better. It's not even close in terms of talent. But one guy who's elevating guys, and one guy who's kind of you got the unicorn saying he wants to get the hell out of town.
Right.
He said, roll.
Yeah, golly. Okay, I must be missing it because when I look at Dallas roster, I'm like, they suck. I mean, they got guys playing like Hardaway is playing way above his skill set. So I'm just thinking.
That's who he's always been. To be honest with you, a catch and shoot kind of guy. And
he's
been that way for the last couple of years, man. He's had a really
But I'm just saying. But when you talk about playoff roster, when I look at Dallas playoff, roster compared to everybody else, it just because when you factor in the unicorn being hurt, it's like they look like they got the worst roster out of all of them. You know?
Right.
Well, the unicorn being hurt is a problem, but also the bigger problem is when he does play, he's not productive. And my point to that is obviously the unicorn's not as good as James Harden. I'm being facetious, and this is kind of extreme. But just putting a guy like James Harden next to Luka, and guy was averaging 25 to 30 points a game for his career, and now he goes and plays with Luka, his numbers go down by half.
Right.
I mean, that's my point about the unicorn. Like, you got to get more out of them. And as the point guard, it's your job to make sure those guys get more out of that he's getting more of his players. And that's, like I said, that's what Trae Young is doing. He's taking a bunch of no-names.
And I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon, Coach. MB, there's a lot of superstars. Well, first of all, it ain't a lot of superstars, but there's guys around the league that are superstars. And I named him earlier, Dame Dollar, the same way. He don't make anybody better. Kawhi Leonard, you named him. He doesn't make anyone better. And that's what coaches is really focused on with Luka. So don't look at Luka when coach is talking and look at so much of what he's averaging assist-wise or points-wise. Look at the other guys' numbers and see if they've improved around him. And that's what Trae Young is doing down there. Like, all the guys' numbers are improved. Wherever LeBron James goes, all the guys around him improve. So that tells you that they're affecting the game on a whole nother level that you can't even calculate, in the basic stats. Now, of course, nowadays they got a stat for everything, but the basic that we think about, points and assists, rebounds, they're killing the game. And guess what they call it now, Coach? Win shares and stuff. So
I understand what y'all saying. I looked at it different. I know with Luke, I just thought he did make the guys better around him. But you can't make your unicorn better because the joke in it, you can't make the team in the tub, like we said. So he's the one. When I look at Tim Hardaway, like you said, he's always been that guy even when he was the Knicks streaky shooter, but I see him playing at a high level, and I see other guys playing at a high level around him. So but I'll take you guys' word on that.
Well, MB, I'm gonna try one more time. I ain't gonna be so drastic. I ain't gonna name drop, and I hate to be so drastic. I'm sorry, but think about on a football team, and you get an outstanding linebacker that's a huge playmaker, right? But he killing the defense. But he balling.
Yeah. No, I understand.
His numbers out of control. But you can't win with it. You can't stop nobody.
I got y'all from the beginning. I understand what you're saying. I didn't agree with it. I thought Luka did like he's doing more with less, because that's what I thought. So that's all. I just disagree with it,
Right.
Okay. Said that. I was surprised that y'all said that. I trust y'all opinion. I was just surprised that y'all said that.
You got
because it seemed more like an all-around game, huh?
But Mike, you got these. Look, I'm not an NBA expert or NBA pro. I mean, I don't claim to like know the NBA at the back of my hand. However, if you paid attention, like a year ago, they made that trade for Porzingis and Hardaway. They said this is a team that's going to compete for the Western Conference Finals.
Exactly.
The roster.
Yeah.
Huh? I thought the experts. Not
MB.
The experts said this.
MB, you forgot because the Knicks were so bad. I don't think you remember how good Porzingis was.
No, Porzingis was good. He was.
Okay.
I agree. That's
so then just put that on paper. Like, to be honest with you, that's the best duo in the West on paper.
Mike, one of the reasons.
No, watch this. And at the time, now we're talking about when he got there, not because AD wasn't there yet. You see what I'm saying? This AD second year. This is the best duo in the West.
Yeah.
When he comes over.
Wasn't there. The Paul George wasn't there, right? Who else?
Right. But that's what I'm telling you. It's the best duo in the West when he showed up.
Yeah.
The experts thought this would be one of the best teams in the West. I mean, even with all those guys out there, I mean, they thought this would be one of the best teams in the West.
Because they had Barnes then, right? They had Barnes from Golden State. He was there. I forgot who else was on that team. All right. I got you. You know?
Like on paper again, if you just put those two names first, there's not 3 teams in the West that can match up.
So
and I'm talking about now, just on paper, MB, not what's actually happening.
Are y'all blaming him for the unicorn not playing to the level he should be playing?
No. I'm not blaming.
I am.
You are. K. Lewis.
Yeah, I am because he has the ball so much.
Okay.
I'm not blaming him, but what I'm saying, Mike, is for a guy who's coming from the Knicks, who was one of the most sought after play. That trade they made was a big time trade.
Yeah,
no doubt. From the Knicks to the Dallas Mavericks. And he was one of the most sought after players in the NBA just a year or two ago. When he came there, they talked about this like Caleb said, this is one of the best 1-2 combos in the West. And now obviously it's not working. The unicorn is like frustrated. He's upset. He's not getting enough touches, whatever the case might be. I mean, it's just not working. But the roster is there. It's not an issue of the roster. It's an issue of like, guys playing together, guys gelling together, guys. I mean, they might not like each other. There's obviously an issue there, but I think that's a damn good team. I mean, on paper, it's not a good team because they don't play as well. But if you just look at their roster on paper, like Caleb said, if you put the unicorn and you put those two guys together, those two guys at the top of the list, that's as good a tandem as anywhere in the West.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
It could be period, but definitely in the West.
Yeah.
Definitely in the West.
Yeah.
But they're underachieving right now. Something has to change. They gotta. And maybe the unicorn's the one that's going to go. Maybe they're going to trade him. So I guarantee you, there's going to be a massive trade with the Dallas Mavericks this year with somebody.
Hold on, now didn't you just tell me when that gonna
happen? No. Yeah, I'm going back one.
That's what I said. But he gone.
But they're not going to trade. The only person that's not on the trading block is going to be. I'm not Porzingis. Is the point guard. He's the only one that's going to stay. The rest of those guys could be traded. The rest of right. I mean, the rest of those guys.
Okay, I've been on that page because this ain't working, and it's no reason why I shouldn't.
I think it's
so. Yeah, I'm reading this stat right here. It said, as far as when they're healthy, right, the Mavericks average 1.118 points per possession, whatever that means, during the regular season when the unicorn sets a ball screen for Doka, the most efficient duo in the league to run at least 300 picks,
Yep.
It's just that this article is just saying they're blaming the health of the unicorn not being there. So who knows? But that's what I'm curious. I appreciate you guys. I'm just trying to see,
Coach, and let's remember now, Rick Carlisle didn't even start him this last game. So that's saying a lot too, MB. They went with the 7-foot stiff.
Oh wow,
he's probably soft. The unicorn's probably soft. If I had to guess.
I'm just telling you. Hey, ain't nothing like your coach not believing in you.
Yeah.
Porzingis, listen to me. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you're New York, if there wasn't an issue with potentially being soft or injury prone with Porzingis, you don't trade him. You don't trade that talent. That's like saying you're going to trade one of these, like trade one of these young guys that are up and coming that can, 4 or 5 years, they can help you win a championship. And that's who he was when he came. He was the Knicks, the unicorn, and they traded him. So there was definitely an issue there with him for them to trade him, because you don't trade a young guy like that. You just don't. You got to hang there with him, and he has to be the cornerstone of your franchise. But there was something. But he was hurt in New York a lot. He was hurt in New York a lot. So
look at this. Okay. Hey, check this little backstory out. This ESPN. It says a lack of on-court interaction between Luka and the unicorn, who rarely high-five or communicate directly to each other, has become apparent.
They don't like each other.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to play together, help each other. We want to win at the end. We all want to win here, and that's it. We have to keep playing together and keep playing well and help each other. It's a sensitive subject that Mavs coach Rick Carlisle, who has his own tension with Luka, a star, has shown up his coach on the court or bench several times when disagreeing with the decisions, has declined to discuss it publicly. Yeah. So it seems like it's some interest. So something's about to happen. But you're right. I mean,
that's code word for no chemistry. Somebody's up out there. That's code word.
Yeah. So
lack of chemistry. Somebody
also, like we talked earlier on the last show about Dame. Like something's got to be made, man. So some changes got to be made in all season.
Yep. Well, y'all, the Clippers win. Playoff P steps up and gives y'all 22-10, baby.
Playoff P
to redeem itself.
Playoff P.
Not the pandemic P.
Hey, he didn't need a huge game out of Kawhi after all. Yeah, right. Kawhi went for what, 47?
What, this last game?
What he went for?
No, he was
28.
He almost had a triple double. He was 28. He had. I'm telling Morris. I mean, the supporting cast. What I talked about earlier, man. That's who really. They stepped up. They played more team game. They had like a total of 7 guys that had double digits.
Right, MB. We keep seeing this Reggie Jackson sighting that was supposed to kill the Lakers last year that ain't never played.
Yeah.
And Reggie ain't played all year, coach, but down the stretch, I guess the Chihuahua hurt, so they've been going with Reggie Jackson.
Is the Chihuahua hurt or the Chihuahua they took him out because the Chihuahua was getting exposed?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the Chihuahua Luka was like, you remember Luka was talking noise. You can't guard me. The Chihuahua.
That was they bad anyway.
Huh?
He too little.
Right, he was like, you too little. So they actually, if I'm not mistaken, they actually put Patrick Beverly. They didn't even play him since they made the change. So Reggie Jackson, I think he had 2 good games back to back, Game 6 and Game 7. And then, like I said, Morris really stepped up. He had 7 3-pointers, right? I mean, he had a big game. So he had Kawhi and had help. He had a supporting cast to help them get over the top. So, and he almost had a triple double as well, Kawhi, but he was one rebound and 1 assist short. But the supporting cast, K-Lou, like you mentioned, they the one that got it done, man.
Well, Coach, you had any thoughts on that game?
No, I mean, the one thing I love talking about playoff. I mean, talking with Paul George. I loved how he was consulting with Luka at the end of the game. I mean, he's been so bad here recently. I mean, in playoffs over the years, but he was giving all that good advice to Luka at the end of that series. Keep your head up, hanging in there. I was reading his lips the whole time. I don't know if you guys pay attention. At the end of the game, they were panning on those 2 guys talking. And his whole thing back to him was, keep your head up. You guys are going to be one of the teams of the future. I'm trying to figure that out.
Wow. Well, he ain't got to worry about Luka getting dunked on. That other number 2 gonna get dunked on in Dallas all year, so Luka will be good. Worry about yourself, Paul.
Yeah. What you think about their matchup moving forward with the Clippers versus Utah? What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
Utah's a system team. I think Utah can beat them personally. I think Utah can beat the Clippers. I'm still not sold on the Clippers just yet. I mean, I know they beat Dallas, but I'm not sold on Dallas. I think Utah's a different animal. I think it's a more team-oriented team. I think they just do a lot of. I mean, I think the biggest issue I think we touched on for the last at least 15 minutes somehow how I'm not going to say dysfunctional Dallas is, but Dallas they don't play well together. Now they're going to see a totally different type of team that plays extremely well together, and they're going to make you pay for mistakes where Dallas doesn't. Right. So they got to play. I think they got to play better if they want to beat the Utah Jazz. Talking about the Clippers.
What's your thoughts, K-Lou?
I like Utah too. The reason being, MB, is because the Clippers' 2 stars have to play too well every night.
Yeah.
I mean, 22-10. Kawhi Leonard 28 and what 10-9. I mean, in a game 7, yes, they got some buckets pitched in by Marcus Morris. And Reggie Jackson played well, but you got to depend on that every night. They're not getting that. So it's so much pressure put on those 2 guys to perform. And like, I think Coach Moore, you the one who made me realize it. 2 guys that do all the same stuff. So it's just, it's tough. So you know how it is. We think of all the duos or big threes. And you had guys being able to affect the game in different ways. Well, these 2 guys do the same thing. So it's like when they saying let's dig in, they talking to the bigs. You know what I mean? Yep. They can't go down there and play big. You know what I mean? If the point guard getting killed, they telling the point guard, come on, let's go. They can't shift the point guard. So like Coach said before, and I thought about that when you said it, Coach. Like, to me, you hit the nail on the head when you said these are 2 guys that you get the exact same abilities out of. It makes no sense. And because you talked about positionless basketball, but when you look at it, I'm looking at them more from a standpoint. We got to figure out a way to get a 3rd guy involved every game. And that 3rd guy may have to be different, but they have to have a 3rd guy in a 20-point situation every night. And that's MB why I don't believe they'll beat Utah. Not because of those 2, but because that 3rd wheel, they won't be able to find a consistent 3rd wheel. And I'm saying just a guy that steps in, a different guy to give you 20 every night.
Right. Okay. Well, Double A got a question. Who's going to come out the West? I mean, you got Utah versus, obviously we talk about Utah versus the Clips, and then you got the Nuggets versus the Suns. Who's y'all pick to come out the West then?
Well, K-Lou, since you were like ragging on us about the U and basketball, I'm going with the Phoenix Suns because they actually have someone, but the U is being represented with those guys. The GM is from the U, baby, and he put that team together. Yeah. And they were a no nothing team last year, and that was all due to the mind and the brain of someone that went to the U, baby. There you go.
Had nothing to do with him. He ain't make but one. Hey, he ain't make but one change, and you forget they went 10-0 in the bubble before he got there.
Oh, he was there last year. He was there last year.
No. Talking about Chris Paul.
No, he's talking about the U. He's talking about James Jones.
Yeah, but he made one move. Chris Paul.
That was the best move ever.
But they won. They was the only undefeated team in the bubble.
I know he was there last year. He made that. He built the foundation. He only had to make one move. He made the move.
K-Lou, that was the right move, though. Some people make the wrong move.
He just put the icing on the cake with Chris Paul. He built the team. He was there to build the team, and he said, "You know what? We got one more move to make to put us over the top. So let me make that move." You know.
Right. You forget about these free agents, these high-level free agents. It's like recruiting in college now. See, this is what these GMs get paid for. It's like recruiting. Chris Paul was one of the most heavily set off the free agents last year.
He wasn't no free agent.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't no free agent.
No,
Oh, they
he's
traded
still
for
under
him?
contract. He made
He
$40
traded for him.
million a year.
Yeah, he traded for him.
So
Yeah,
wait, Chris Paul played for Oklahoma last year, right?
Yeah, he
right.
traded
And
for him.
they traded to get him.
He traded for him from
Well,
Oklahoma.
all right. That's even better than they traded. That's even better.
Oh
That's
boy.
better.
He
They
knew the
made a
move to
trade.
make
There you
to
go.
get him over the hump.
Okay.
Yeah, that trade got him over the hump. There you go.
Hey,
That's even.
I'm gonna let y'all win, man. They beat my Lakers, so whatever y'all say.
LeBron's somewhere in golf right now.
What
We
you
love
say,
him.
K-Lou?
Huh?
He. I'm saying what you say. You're saying that he's not building a team, or what you saying?
He ain't do nothing. There was one
He
team
did do
change
something.
that got them going, and I called him the GOAT last show, and that's Mr. Monty Williams. Okay, that was the difference.
Don't cheat the front office for making the moves, getting the players there.
Okay.
Don't cheat them.
Okay. Monty
Don't cheat him,
Williams
man.
changed the game. That's who changed the
Monty
game.
Williams. Hey, I'm gonna give.
And I gave him the credit against my Lakers.
Monty Williams doing a heck of a job as well, but you cannot cheat the front office for getting the.
But he the one that hired money. That's the thing. He hired money.
No, stop it, y'all.
He did hire money.
You sure?
Hey, K-Lou, the brain trust, baby. The brain trust.
They gave him that kind of authority?
Doing Jones' first official
he has a coach. Yeah.
He orchestrated some moves that appear questionable on the surface level,
coach.
such as firing.
Not all of
them. He fired the head coach.
He's not assistant. He's not assistant GM.
Not all GMs hire the head coach.
Huh? You said what?
He's not assistant.
Not
GM.
all
He's the head coach. He's the GM.
Hire head coaches.
He hired him. I'm reading it right here.
I'm not saying he didn't, but I was just telling Coach.
Oh, I got you.
That's it. I wasn't talking about that hire. So I asked, did he hire him? MB said yes. I said okay.
Yeah, I'm reading it right here.
He's doing a good job down there. Gotta give credit where credit's due.
Then he made.
You want to kill you? There's no influence of the U in the NBA. There you go.
He get the credit. Then he brought money in. I'm with him.
Okay, and then here's the other movie made, K-Lou. I guess in November 2020, at the time he traded Keller O'Brien, the guys Golden State, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, and Jalen whoever, and a protected 22 first-round picks to Oklahoma for Neder and Chris Paul. So he made that trade.
Yeah, let me tell you what that was. Getting off of some super dead weight.
And then he traded.
No, it's not.
That was the squad K-Lou that finished, whatever role they played, but they finished. That was the team that finished undefeated in the bubble, right? So he
but that was
you
named two.
Go ahead.
You named two guys that played behind Devin Booker, because Devin Booker was forced to be the point guard. Okay, right. Ricky Rubio, Keller Oubre played the 2 or the 3. He was like a 3 and D guy. And I think he's in Golden State now.
Yeah, he's in Golden State now.
Right. And then it's another name you named that was a point guard. So they took all the weight.
Or Jalen McHugh. Did I'm saying that name right?
I didn't hear
you. Ty Jerome, you said?
Yes. Okay. And so what happens is you fill in and you get Chris Paul, you move Devin Booker to his real natural position, which is a 2. And that's scary me saying that, y'all. Because he plays the heck out of point guard. So the fact that I'm telling you, he gets to move over to his natural spot, and now he's an animal. Because he ain't got to do a lot of the work, and Chris Paul create for him. James Jones, I'm gonna give him the credit. Now y'all told me he brought in money. Hey, that's enough for me.
So what moves they got to make to beat the Nuggets? So Jake, you said their son's gonna beat.
No, it's over with. They won their championship against my late show, baby.
No, they didn't. They got more work to do. They didn't. No way, Jose. They don't do
so
for real now.
Start right now against the Nuggets, K-Lou.
Hey, K-Lou, this thing ain't over with now. I'm not saying they can get out of the West, but it's not over by any means. They got.
It's over.
They can. No, it ain't over. It ain't over.
Hey, we didn't see DeAndre Ayton play like that all year, man. Way he strung together them 6 games against us.
No. You got to sense it. He was projected to be this guy. He's number one pick overall now. This dude was.
I hear that, man. I hear that every year about a guy that don't pan out.
But you know.
All right, don't talk about Kawan.
It's not that he's not paying out.
Don't you do it. Well, so K-Lou, so your pick is coming out of the West is who then? So Jake is
man, I'm gonna go against the grain, and I'm gonna go with Utah, man. I like Utah.
How's that going against the grain? They won the West. That's going against the grain.
Hey,
one seed. What are you talking about? You go get the grain?
Hey, watch this.
Get him, Jake.
Hey, watch this.
You go against the grain. Hey, go against the grain is picking Denver.
Hey, ain't none of y'all put no respect on their name. Now, Denver lost my vote when they lost Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
That's when they lost my vote.
Yeah.
But you know that's the number two team, man. When Houston, when the Houston and James Harden thing happened, I went over to Denver for my second team.
Right.
Yep.
Right. What is
Denver's good.
Okay.
Without worry,
what about the matchup tonight, man? Who's gonna win out of Nets and the Bucks? The game 2 tonight. Who you got? And your boy James Harden out.
Nets.
I'm like Milwaukee, man. They ain't gonna go out like that because if Milwaukee go down 0-2, then they need to take both of Giannis MVP trophies. Both of them. That's a pride thing, MB. You know how it is. It's like you was talking about when you talk about playing Marshall Falk. We ain't letting it happen tonight. It's a pride thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's if he ain't in the locker room talking like that, MB, take both of them MVP trophies and get them back.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think Milwaukee gonna get it tonight. I think they got to step up to the plate. To me, it was like a style, two different styles. Like in the first half, they was trying to take advantage of their size. They was running the paint. Every play seemed like they was running plays in the paint. And in the second half, man, it seemed like they got away from it, you know. So, and if for Blake Griffin and those supporting cast to do it again, I don't know. That's gonna be a little tough, you know. I got Milwaukee tonight. And so, Jake, you said you got the Nets tonight.
I got the Nets tonight. Yep.
You got the Nets. And then who you got for the series, K-Lou?
I got the Nets.
Oh, I got the Nets for the series and the Nets to come out of the East now, unless one of the other guys go down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. One of the other guys go down, it spells disaster for this entire finals. And I think it's the lowest rated in history.
Right.
In modern history. And already it's going to be struggling with Utah being there. If Utah make it there in any shape or form, it's going to be low. And then if you get a team that's not named Brooklyn Nets from the other side, I think it's the worst. It's going to be the lowest, again, watch finals in modern history. That's my prediction. So they better make it.
Mike, I think right now, the only team that's left in the NBA playoffs that can withstand one of their major stars to get hurt is the Brooklyn Nets. You go back and look. The Lakers, they lost one of their superstars. They got beat. Look what happened with the Sixers. Sixers were the number one team in the East. They lost their superstar for a game. The Washington, the Wizards, they crushed them that game. My man played. The big hit. I mean, so the one team that can absorb, and I'm saying two, again, beat here. The one team that can absorb one superstar to go down is the Brooklyn Nets. They're that deep. That's my point. They're that deep.
Right.
One of those guys.
I agree. That's why I said if another one goes down, that's
right.
If another one goes down, it's over. Yeah, it's over.
Right.
If another one goes down, it's over. Yes, I agree. But they are the one team that can absorb
Right. So you think they got even if Harden doesn't play this series, you think they can still beat Milwaukee without Harden?
Yes.
I think they can build Milwaukee up. They can beat Milwaukee already, yes.
And MB, I think it's a done deal. I think Harden doesn't play again in this series. I think they're gonna sit him out.
Yeah.
Because I think with the way they won, they feel like they're gonna beat them in 6 anyway, and I feel the same.
Yep. So K-Lou, you talked about I think you mentioned this with the Clippers finding a consistent number 3. Who you think is the
We lost you, MB.
Yeah, lost you. He was saying about the Clippers, who you think would be a good number 3 with that team?
I think he was going to switch that to the Nets and say who I think would be a great number 3 for them. They're in 2 different positions. The Clippers can't score like they're 1 and 2. So where it's nothing for KD to hit 35 and Kyrie to be right behind him with 33, 30 or 30. So those are 2 different point differentials. These guys having big nights in LA with the Clippers at 25, 20.
Right.
So we talking about adding, coach. What are we adding? Another 20 points darn them.
Right.
You know what I mean? To the mix. Right. So we just found our 3rd score. It's them 2 together.
Right.
We got 60 points between them.
Yeah. They're that good. They're that good. I agree.
So I think so. Right. The 1 and 2 nullifies the 3. So
they're 1 and 2 equals 3. Yeah.
Right. Well, we appreciate you coming through. We done lost MB and we overtime anyway.
Yep.
We appreciate you, bro, pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us.
Absolutely,
man. You know us, Coach.
Absolutely. Ken-Lou, I appreciate you, brother.
All right. Have a good evening.
Okay, buddy. I'll let you.
Yeah. We sure appreciate y'all pulling up, stopping through, hollering at us because you know us, baby. We lost one in the struggle. He went down with a hammer like James Harden, but he'll be back Friday. MB, sideline to baseline with MB and K-Lou. We are gone.